welcome back. Welcome back. You are in the final half hour of Fantastic Fridays. We are still in the Talk the Ting with Kim segment. Thank you to the lovely Rotaractors that decided to be a part of this discussion. Getting a bit, come and see some people, get very shy and don't really want to talk, but then they give the answers, and I love that. It's really
for your participation.
Yeah, because it's really about teaching. Why I like having this segment, we learn from each other. And I would recommend, probably if you're in a sore space with whatever experience you're in, probably it's not the best time to share, because you're going to share from bitterness and hurt and anger. But especially if you've made peace with it, share the advice. Somebody else out there probably need it.
And then if you have a situation you're thinking about, just show it to us. We'll, put it out there and see if we get some persons to talk on the topic.
Exactly.
But people, guys, they didn't really say, let's say, sign up to be a part of the discussion.
Yeah, they were just for the battle. They weren't forced.
What?
Well, one was for...
So your hand reach up higher now.
Right?
I never know your hand could have
The other one was very low.
I never know your
hand
was forced.
You see she have on the wrap on her hand? I thought that was keeping her hand from going up. But apparently, she's free.
I tell you, some muscles should have blocked from her eye. And she just got drawn into it, right? But I believe, as I said, is that we should be able to share experiences, right? So as long as you make peace with it, right? That will allow you to, I like what you said, you thought that maybe was your spoiled behavior, which is not necessarily spoiled behavior. You just needed to spend more time.
I think when she says spoiled behavior, it's a cute spoiled behavior.
Right.
She want to see him. That's basically what she's saying.
And that's what I'm trying to say. So sometimes we look at those things as a negative thing, and it's not. You just wanted more time with the person, with your person, and that is fine. If it's not something that was able to be accommodated at the time, then you start to have a decision. Either you're going, wait, look longer.
Or
maybe... I used to say out of sight, out of mind type of thing.
Or just give it a break.
Disappear or give it a break So
we don't do other things.
Yeah.
All right.
So the question that we ended with before the break is, what advice do you have for others pursuing long distance relationships? And this is for everybody. Those who
the guys them say them not do it.
No, but as in, that's their personal perspective.
Yeah. So
what advice would you give somebody else? In other words, it can be different. Somebody will say, yo, me now do something, but guess what? If you do it, think about this.
Okay. So generally then, what is the best advice you'll give to
someone pursuing long-distance relationship?
I would say listen.
Listen
to each other.
Okay.
Find time for each other and set boundaries.
Okay.
So listen, find time for each other, set boundaries.
Now, what kind of boundaries you mean now? Like,
you have to be on the same page. So you're going to say, okay, we're allowed to do this. I'm okay with you doing that. So it's about listening, understanding what your partner wants, and trying to respect their wishes. And from there, you can set the boundaries of your relationship.
Okay, what you do, what you can't do, what is good, what is not good. Okay.
To ensure everybody on the same page, nobody not cause unnecessary hurt and unnecessary drama.
Yes.
We know what we're okay with and what we're not okay with.
Okay. There we go.
And as she said, make time and listen. And guys, that is something that we think we do because we can hear. Hearing and listening is not the same thing. Right? Listening. You will have to do a topic on that. I also think we could do a topic about if exes, can be friends still.
No. No, we'll do a topic on that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But so listening is a whole different thing. You have to actually listen, not to respond, but to learn about the person, understand what they're saying, what they're coming from. Actually, I think sometimes, when you have the spelling bee and ask you additional question for clarify, sometimes clarify. So what you're saying is this.
So the language of origin is.
Right, yeah. Okay. So what you're saying is this, because there's so many times that something that you can say to me is completely misinterpreted in the same space.
Kim, I think that phrase, I don't think that's a good phrase example to use. But what you're saying is, because sometimes I've, based
no, you don't have to say exactly that. I'm just
when ladies say, well, what you're saying is,
and that's when
usually what comes after that is a whole different sentence.
Thing. Right? Fine.
Now I go to the shop. So what you saying is,
the girl at the shop.
You don't like
look fun.
Staying here. So you gotta leave. So, but I get you. Try and paraphrase
paraphrase to ensure before you form your own opinion.
Yes.
Because too often, and I think this happens on both sides of the coin with both genders, them hear something and just run with it, but you don't really understand. And it's only when it come back up in a problem or an argument, they realize, say, yo, I know that what it mean. Why you never ask, you know? Especially us ladies, I think we tend to be very guilty of that. You said something worse if you're vexed already, you know. Anything what you say after that's literally past my ears, right? So I get that. So that was one advice. What is the next advice from Janice?
My advice is to decide from the get-go if this person is actually worth it and kind of plan your life to see if you can accommodate this person and this relationship this time. And as Vanessa said, communication. But
so you say you wouldn't do first anybody. You have to be very selective.
Yeah,
about who you're gonna
you
do.
don't want somebody wasting your life. Because somebody could have sit down and draw you out for 10 plus years.
Yeah.
Let's not have that. That's not cute.
Yeah.
No, don't look so.
It's realistic. People doing it.
Man will have woman sit down there
for 3 years.
No, all 20 plus years.
Well. As a woman, you'll be sitting as well.
No, the thing is, remember that some people are hopeful.
Like,
you
some
make up
people
your face.
very
People are hopeful.
Yeah, man.
I tell you.
Yeah, people are desperate.
And persons are very
Shanroy
manipulative.
said, Shanroy said, you need to file for me. So if somebody is overseas and then they're there for 20 plus years,
And
why is it that you cannot file for
and
me?
then it
Why
rough
is
now.
it that you're not in
but
a
it doesn't take
decent
20
job?
years to
No,
do
right
it.
now it's rough because
No,
they
but
must
at
say
least have a
upper
time
embassy
frame in mind.
at 2025
Have a time
it
frame
there. So
in mind.
2 years have to put on already before you go
see?
start file. So yeah.
And you see, that leads back to what we said last week. You have to have an end game. No long distance relationship lasts forever. So if it's something that going to seem like you don't see an end or don't know what the end is, then you probably need to have a conversation as to how you're going to proceed. Not going to say it's going to done, but somebody have to do a compromise.
Yeah.
Right? Either somebody going to move, somebody going to change location, whatever it is, eventually it's going to be a conversation, right? But as you say, not just anybody. If the interest of the person is worth it, right? And then understand what exactly it is that you are
Need from this
Ensure
that you
experience.
need from it.
Ensure you have the time
if
for the relationship.
whatever it is that the goal in mind that you have set, so the goal may be cohabitation in 3 years, the goal may be marriage in 3 years. Does this, as in, you kind of continuously look to see if this makes sense in that time frame. If the time frame don't work anymore, do I still want to do this with this person outside of that time frame?
So checkpoints then, you know?
Yes, because
Like every 6 months you check up or 3 months you say,
you sit down and
are we
waste your
close?
life.
So, okay, all right, okay.
Carty Shakespeare said, hopeful Lionel or desperate. Right?
No,
And she said,
I
my
wouldn't say
God, I'm
desperate.
not so patient. No, the thing is, you know, and I think desperate is used as a harsh word
Yeah,
in this
it's not
instance.
desperate.
But the thing is, people genuinely want a connection. People really, that's one of the things. I think that is why, because I realize even with this show, when we do other topics, people support it, you know. But I realize the relationship, because everybody sort of want that connection, is something that most, if not everybody, is seeking. So when somebody find that, especially somebody who probably don't really have the highest self-esteem, or, you know, when them a walk a road, smile and look them every day, people look at those stuff. You may not look at it as something, you know, you as a walk and there's people call to you out there every day, can't bother. But somebody out there is like, oh my God, I wish somebody would have called to me, you know?
And
And when they find that one person
And
giving them the attention, they might wait for 5-10 years because, yo, this person promised me things and me just want this because it's the only person that's giving me this right now. So it's not desperation. I think desperation is a harsh word to use.
Yeah.
Just that people want something and that's where they found it. God forbid it's probably not the best person for them, but that's the person that's giving them that hope.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah, don't look at it that way. People just really want that connection and eager to find it, desperate to find it, not in a negative way. And sometimes we end up down some road that we don't belong because we're just dying for that, you know?
Yeah.
All right, so, sir, not from your perspective of no long distance
man, just
relationship,
giving
but if somebody was to
advice.
pursue, what advice would you give them?
I mean, for me, what's important in a relationship is to be open and honest. And like I said before, you know, set your boundaries, your timeline, knowing by this point in time where are we going to be. And like I said, for me, it's the most admirable thing about a person, you being honest, regardless of how harsh it is. Just be honest with me. You have persons who, you know, have some level-headed conversation in terms of, you know, sharing your whereabouts. Where
I
you're
think
going.
Carty asked me if he can speak up.
Okay, so you have people again. Well, let me start over again. So for me, I think what is important is for them to have open and honest communication. And for me, like I said before, what's admirable about a person is your honesty.
Yeah.
So if it is that you are having issues, are you not seeing this coming to fruition, then stop wasting each other's time. Just put an end to it. If you see where this can work, I mean, it's going to take a lot of sacrifice, a lot of discipline. So just tell yourself that, you know what, I'm going to endure this challenge until X time, and just put a timeline until when this will, have to stop, that we'll come together and we're staying here, we're living here together. Do whatever afterwards.
All right. And for those of you who are not hearing on the IG Live, just remember to check us out on YouTube. You'll get the quality audio in your ears.
Look at that advertisement.
Yes.
Right? But yeah, so basically what he's saying, guys, is that be honest, right? Not only with your partner, be honest with yourself too. I think a lot of us compromise thinking that we ready for something and we're not really ready for it, right?
No, we're not ready.
And some of us know and some of us don't know. Because sometimes, like, let's say, for example, you find somebody, them live where you feel a connection.
Yeah,
the connection feels good.
But if you don't know, then, you can't talk about it. But
when
you know and you still do it now.
Yeah, that's one thing. That's just you basically harming yourself, right? But if you don't know, sometimes, I say, you might just click with somebody and you're like, all right, I'm curious about this, whatever. You don't know, you really think about whether you can really... The factors that will come in play when it comes to long distance, you just try it because you like the connection here. And actually need to be honest with yourself. Evaluate yourself, evaluate the situation. As you said, you learn so much from it. I think everybody has said that. You learn so much from it. But I like to push persons to be honest, not only with your partner. Because enough of we lie to ourselves, all day, every day, we lie to ourselves bad. Right? So we all have this habit at some point, and some people can check themselves. I check myself occasionally, like, nah, Kim, better than that. Right?
This
talk to myself. Right? I think we all do that.
Yeah.
So you have to be honest with yourself as well in the midst of all this. And have an end game. As we've been hearing that, have an end game. It can't just be just a day, just a go so. Just a day, every day. So what are you guys going towards? I think one of the tips we gave last week was it motivates you to know what you're working towards, what you're staying dedicated to. What is the end image that you have in your mind, all right? So that is a really good point. So I hope for all that couldn't hear, that was a summary of what was being said, all right? My lady?
Like the other ladies would have indicated, communication has to be key. So it's, even if you're just communicating to say, hey, today I'm going to be busy, I'll talk to you by X time kind of thing, but don't let it just be left up in the air where the whole entire day passes by and there's no level of communication.
Yeah.
I think secondly as well, you need to carve out time for each other. So not to say it's structured, but you need to know that, okay, between this and this time, this is our time.
So we're not
try to
wing
do
it.
something that we like.
Yeah.
Together, watch a movie together, watch a series together kind of thing. Go to dinner together but at separate places, so you kind of have that time carved out. And thirdly, for me, you have to inject some level of spontaneity into the relationship. And I think if you have those three, I think that's part of the winning combo to help to, the longevity until it lasts.
I love that. I love that.
Okay.
Especially the spontaneity and the creativity, guys. Yeah, man. If you're not creative, you're not going to draw for do some research, link some friends, something. Because you're going to need something to keep it going,
Yeah.
In person, it's a bit easier to do that. Online, over the phone, whatever, it's a challenge. So make sure the spontaneity is there. As you said, the communication, I love that. So it's not about, there are days when you're going to be busy, of course, but don't make it just be, make me I wonder. Oh, you just, me not getting a message, me not getting a call, nothing at all. It's basically just say, yo, my days are rough, but I'm going to talk to you later, or, something. It works, right? And I like that you said, carve out time. It's not when time find you, It's not when, okay, I'm free right now, I'm just start out. Make time, plan the time if you have to. Because when you have two separate lives in two different countries, it's easy for you to become distant and out of sight, out of mind. So now for plan, whether it's a date or if you have a trend every Saturday at 6, watch a movie together, or we have conversations at the end of the night before we fall asleep, we have a video call, whatever it is, you guys have to actually make the time, plan the time. And not just kind of just spontaneity in between, but have some sort of structure that you can look forward to. I think that will help.
And then my little suggestion, just to add, I mean, planning is good, having a routine is good, but don't make it robotic, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, toss in a little flexibility here. Yeah.
Yeah, show up, visit, surprise visit.
No, that's not the flexibility I'm talking about. But yeah, you know.
Why everybody keep having this reaction when I say surprise visit? Every single time.
Sometimes you're planning a surprise, Kim. Sometimes you're planning a surprise,
and you get it a bigger surprise.
There you go.
That's the same feedback we got last week.
So as I said, if you're even planning a surprise, ensure you're working with somebody on the location to find out what the weather is like.
No,
so you know,
I have
what to pack. Okay.
I heard of a situation. A man planned a lovely surprise, flew down for her birthday, bought all sorts of things, went to her house, found another man there. Man turned around, did not know what to do with himself. He was beside himself.
All right.
He had to call his friend.
So there he
call him friend.
No, he had to call his friend. He could not be consoled.
So there he was at the time where the plumber was visiting.
Yeah. Right, that's what I was thinking.
You know what I'm saying?
Like another friend was, just friending.
She rented out the house for the day. You know what I'm saying? So all these things can happen, but you have to check with somebody on the ground to say, hey, is so and so available? Is this a good day? Them have test, them have exam. Are they gonna be at work for long? Is this one of those weekends where they're in, Negril? You have to find out these things, yeah?
And that comes back from the communication. And as we said, we actually did talk about this. You have to make and keep things creative. We did say flirt, video call, whatever, do risky stuff, but also
flirt
with each other.
Do fun stuff, Kim. Fun stuff.
Fun, risky, it can be adventure. I never said K. I said K. There's a difference.
I'm trying to figure out to what them sound like them synonymous right now. But anyway.
But I did say you can also do...
I think risque is more for the relationship one than
whichever
risky.
One.
Risky doesn't sound relationship friendly. Risque sounds,
I don't know what I mean, right? But not only that, you can do like special gestures for each other. Probably buy something online, have it shipped to the address. If you know where them work, you can call and say, yo, you have all these food delivery places now, send him lunch to the so you can do little things like that. Since they don't want surprise visits,
that's a better
they can
surprise.
have food surprise visit them or gift surprise visit them. And I mean, it works same way, but as I said, I was speaking from a space of healthy relationships. Right.
Kim, everything can be all healthy, but sometimes there are misconceptions. So, as I say, it's good to... No, because you cannot plan and shit. Suppose you are planning for... Somebody said it last week. Suppose you are planning for surprise a person.
And them are planning for surprise you.
And not even say them are planning for surprise you. You go up at the house and them are there. Where you do? Start up the whole 3 days till they come back. You know what I'm saying? You say, how you doing? She said, they have a staff retreat. You set up now. Okay.
But you see, this is why communication is important.
Exactly. You speak to somebody around.
Is important.
No,
remember,
she's a person. You know that your person is going on a work retreat. So.
Yeah, you don't know that.
I'm just giving an example.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
Communication. If you were gonna be communicating and then you're planning a surprise.
Yeah.
What are you gonna say? Oh, you're at the house now? You're at the house now?
No, man.
No,
you have
nobody
to
does that.
On that style. So.
On that style, exactly. Nobody does that.
Like, some I go want to talk to you X time. Which part you got there? So, like...
You see? That's what I'm saying.
Or you might even just... you might not even do that. You can do little things that require you... You can say stuff that reveal where you are. So you can be like, we leave something in the house. And if they can check somewhere in the house, they're at home. Stuff like that. Little stuff that you can ask... to get a response that you can pick up.
I would just recommend, just make sure you have a contact.
Or a point of
friend,
contact that will know.
A family member that she knows or he knows that you're in touch with. So they will say, hey, help me, plan this surprise. Because if you do it by yourself, trust me, you might just, miss the surprise. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Exactly. So that was your perspective. You finished with your point of view? Okay. For me, I guess for anybody pursuing long-distance relationship, know exactly what you're getting into. Know exactly what. Don't just make the connection and the honeymoon stage just, cloud everything and you're just on a cloud or you're on a cloud right now. You actually know what you're getting into. It takes work. It takes also effort. Takes work. Takes patience. It takes understanding. It takes so much more. I feel like whatever it takes in a regular relationship, times 10. Right? Just multiply it by 10. Because it's still a regular relationship require the same thing. But it's more difficult when you have distance. And as somebody said last week, the further the distance, the more the effort. Because if your parish is away, then you can take a nuts fud, drive, whatever it is. But if you take a plane now, then you know it's probably a 2 times a year that plane fare not cheap, especially now. And then even if you don't have time zone difference, that's a whole different ball game because somebody have to miss sleep for that, right? Somebody have to be up in the middle of the night just to ensure they can get your calls and vice versa and whatever. So you need to understand what exactly it is that you're going to commit to. Be honest with yourself about if it's something you can honestly commit to. If you know, so you're not a part of the faithful bunch. If you know, so you're born a bakery and a navel string, cut a bakery and all these things, and you don't.
It's a Jamaican man.
Don't. I was going to say, aka a Jamaican man. I didn't say it.
Why you call my name?
Oh, sorry. I mean the girl. Right? Yeah, it's just like, listen, perspective. But yeah, guys, if you know say loyalty is not funny thing and you can't keep to yourself, nobody embark on that and hurt nobody boy pitney or girl pitney. I know you're thing that. I'm sure you can find somebody in your space, in your, yeah, right? For make something work. That is my thing. Carty said, be truthful. If you know it's 3 years, don't say it's 6 months, you know? So yeah, no matter make the promises and I can't keep. If you know say we're not plan to stay longer or the opportunity might cause you to stay longer, stay from early. No matter wait till 3 years reach now and you say, all right, babe, so you'll come back. But you know, say, no matter with that. Yeah?
All right.
And final, any advice? Outside of your personal perspective?
Alright, so for me, my advice would just be to be happy. So if you're with someone and you're happy with the person and you think it's worth the risk, you should go for it because the reality is you might be in the same space as a person and still feel worlds apart, you know?
Oh.
So,
Exactly.
yeah, man, so if you think that's your person,
Then make it work.
then yeah.
Put a
So
lot of effort.
yeah, where there's a will, there's a way. So
I like that.
So just
I like
be
that
happy.
positive note, right? All right, so guys, that was it for Talk the Ting with Kim.